And here comes Ngannou, who somehow escaped that machine and said, no, in the fight game, brand is what matters. Watch what happens when I control the pay-per-view. I'm going to go fight Fury, and I'm going to turn it into a circus event that renders both mixed martial arts and boxing smaller than my brand. Like this guy, Ngannou is a bit of a freedom fighter for labor in his sport. Good God, go read about his story. How he got to conquer the fighting game and how much harder that is to do than Dana White conquering the business of this. And he beat him at business, too, because now he's free. And he's created a fight that people are going to watch and pay to watch. I think that Fury is going to embarrass him. But it doesn't matter. He wins just by producing an event that signifies he's fighting for fighters, for brand management, for independence. It's like a great American story, Tony. The whole thing, Ngannou somehow got out from under Dana White's thumb, somehow did it, and now is going to have a monster event where he competes against Dana White.
And you could say getting out from Dana White's thumb was the easiest thing that Francis has done in his life. Like, he's escaped Africa through the deserts to try to get to France. He was homeless in France, started fighting, made his way over to America, and the story lives on. But this fight against Tyson Fury, and we talk about the dirty business of sports, is being held in Saudi Arabia, where they're going to pay billions of dollars to make sure that this happens and that this goes great. But when you look at Ngannou versus Tyson Fury, Tyson's probably one of the greatest heavyweights of all time in boxing. I don't think there's a debate there. And Francis Ngannou is the one guy that can stand in front of him with nuclear power in his arms and be able to give him some sort of a fight. But it might be the biggest pay-per-view we see this year in any sport.
I wonder, what is the draw of this fight? Because Tyson Fury, also brand managing, makes a docu-reality series with Netflix because all of these guys, Stugotz, are now businessmen who realize that athletes have been underpaid for their economies for a long time.
So Tony's going to buy that fight regardless. He'll buy any fight. I feel like I'm kind of on the fringes of being interested. It's not interesting to me. It's not a fight I'm going to purchase.
Well, let's see here, because the trailer for this fight, and man, we've seen how cool the fighting industry has gotten. I think those 24/7s that HBO did was like the beginning of how you show the way a boxer trains for something. You tell me if this promo, this trailer sucks you in, Stugotz, as the caveman who still wants to talk about the Rocky movies.
I'm in.
Boys, what do you say?
Goosey's.
That was great.
Not buying it.
Goosey's.
And set to an obscure Sonny and Cher song, Bang
Right.
Bang.
That's
was
what you
just
love
great.
most, yeah.
That was great.
Yeah. If that was a movie, I'd watch it.
Billy, you were unmoved?
I was confused as to why there's like a big Hollywood thing if they're not fighting in Hollywood. But aside from that, I'm in. I'm not
Two
gonna pay
giants are shaking the industry, are shaking streaming. They're about to fight at the center of... man, look, this isn't just a fighting story. It really isn't. Please pay attention to the Ngannou portions of this, because in the labor industry, Stugotz, I'm telling you, the fighting game is the dirtiest. The dirtiest. For this guy to come out and create this spectacle, I just hope he doesn't get his ass kicked, because I would like... people are going to make fun of him. He's already won. Getting getting to what UFC would not do for him there, Stugotz, because they did not do that. They were not interested in selling him unless he was totally under contract for 10 more years of super fights that would have limited his ability to actually have the freedom to create that.
But if just getting there is already winning, why are you concerned about him actually winning?
Because I think people will laugh. I think people will laugh at him the moment that I think Tyson. Man, look, did you hear what Tony just said? Tyson Fury, by any measurement, go look at the Klitschko numbers so that you understand what came before him, how unbeatable this person is in the modern age, because he's a weird fighter that descends from street fighting gypsies for 100 years. And he fights awkwardly, and no one knows how to beat him. And also, when Deontay Wilder, who has the biggest punch in the game, knocks him out, he gets up from it like the Undertaker, and you're like, what the bleep was that? That's straight out of Brad Pitt in Snatch. What is that? How did he just get up from that? It's the biggest punch in the history of the sport.
It's the biggest puncher, Deontay Wilder, against one of the biggest boxers ever, 6'9", 270 pounds, right? And you're looking at Ngannou, who's 6'4", 270, but he has 5 inches over him. And Ngannou during the face, I was like, yeah, he kind of looks flabby, but don't let that fool you. He's a horse.
One would assume that Ngannou will not be able to get that close to a professional boxer because he's not a professional boxer. He is a mixed martial artist. One of the things I love about that part of the combat sports is the arts in it. Is what are you best at? Do I have to keep you on your feet? If I get you to the ground, am I also scared of you there? The fact that he has to stand up and fight Tyson Fury, I don't think bodes any kind of chance, and probably ends his career where no one's going to want to see a second fight.
Maybe, but the thing is, it's that power that he has in his hands, Dan, because if he catches Tyson Fury, not that he's going to knock him out, but if he pops him one good time, something that we didn't see in Mayweather versus McGregor, right? We never saw McGregor really touch Mayweather. If Tyson is kind of back on his heels, and Ngannou can get one off.
You guys, Mike, you think Ngannou has any kind? Getting one punch, watching a fight because one guy might be able to land one punch.
But if you're Tyson, you have to be smarter. You have to carry him. If you think you can beat him and knock him out, you have to carry him, make it appear closer than it actually was, and get the second fight. That's how you do it.
He won
That's
already.
business.
He won already. Fury and Ngannou both won by getting paid to do this, and people will tune in. I don't think I will, but people will tune in to see the spectacle, and a trailer certainly made it seem interesting. These two guys know how to sell a fight, but it's a spectacle, and they've already won by just getting someone to pay them as much money as they already have to put this thing on.
Francis will make more in this fight than he has in his entire fighting career as a champion.
Well, that's the part, right? That's why I keep saying that he's a freedom fighter, because it is so hard to get out of the thicket of that game, Stugotz. Don King would put $1 million in a suitcase in front of Muhammad Ali, and Ali would get suckered by it, thinking he was getting rich when the contracts he was signing were exploitation of the highest order.
Should have been a lot more than $1 million.
This is where we are now with mixed martial arts, though, where I don't know how you recreate starting your own fighting league. I just don't think that people understand, Tony, the achievement it is for this guy to extract himself from what was going to be the promise of Dana White saying, you'll fight John Jones, you'll have some super fights, but I'm keeping your rights for the next 10 years. And Ngannou saying, no, I'm not doing it that way. I'm going to make money for me. If I'm going to expose my body to this, the money's going to be made for me, not for you.
And Francis was on with Joe Rogan a couple of weeks ago. We were talking about the super fight and some of the stuff on the back end of the deal where the UFC was extending Francis every time he had an injury. They would extend his contract 6 months but not book him on a fight. So they were just in perpetuity just extending his contract without booking him a fight. They told him John Jones, they told him Stipe, they told him all these things. And then at the end of the day, he was like, yeah, we're not going to book it until you sign that next fight that has another 10 fights on it.
I know this drives you crazy. You care about the stories behind the athletes, especially in fighting, Dan. Most people don't. They just want a good fight. Tell me I'm going to get a good fight.
Okay, you know? Giant black guy against giant white guy. Go ahead. That's always worked in boxing. Go ahead, do it that way then. If you want to just make it the circus. Oh, Ngannou, he's a bit of a mystery. He got out from Dana White, and he's a monster. Everyone fears him. No one in mixed martial arts was enough man for him. Okay, I can sell that. And today, yes, I'll sell it that way. Just Tyson Fury is hard to get behind. He's got his charismas, but he's also got a whole lot of shit there that's unpleasant.
You used to cover some big-time heavyweight boxing fights, and I did grow up in that, and I love the documentary When We Were Kings and the golden era of heavyweight boxing. It is kind of disappointing to see what boxing has become now in terms of getting mainstream interest.
That it takes this.
It's celebrity. It's Jake Paul. It's Floyd versus McGregor. It's Ngannou versus Tyson Fury. And I just wish that the sport would actually have something that feels this big with actual boxers.
The problem is it can't because there's so many different divisions and so many different belts that are owned by these companies, and it's impossible to bring it under one roof to mainstream it.
Greg.
Like soccer, boxing's dead.